She knew what had happened. That cost me so much emotionally! My God, what are those?
They're maggots. Surgeon's little helpers.
But they're eating him!
Shh! They're eating the infection. Sir,
Not what you're doing!
you have to be more careful. You want to be scared about the bug, that's fine. But do you really think it's a good idea to let the soldiers see the wound?
I was a nurse, and I had to rule that my patients, my nurses, weren't like. You see, inherent dying men, their feelings aren't really held by the streets and criminals. On the other hand, I was always scared. And not tell a guy who's going to live with it. But I never will.
There's no one to tell. You're 18.
And there was absolutely nothing we could do for him. But you didn't cry. You complained. No matter how much you hurt.
I raised that.
Do you think you are?
No.
Are you praying?
No, and then you down to sleep. Should I die before I leave? I pray my soul that yeah. You hold my hand.
I'll be one better. I promise you everything is going to be okay.
I love you, Mom. I love you. After a year of hell, I was finally going home. My parents were right. Going to Vietnam was a big mistake. Not only had I left with my body full of Agent Orange, but it also caused me to forget who I used to be. I went to the wall. I met a soldier and he had a picture of his nurse in 68. He was trying to find her. He wanted to say thank you. And that's when I realized that not everyone died in Vietnam. There are 58,000 names on that wall, and that's something to be proud of. But what about the 3 million plus who lived? We are 3 million men strong. Post-traumatic stress disorder. That's what they call it. So what? All this is a name, not a cure. I'm so tired of how I feel. I don't want to be so angry. I don't want to be so scared. I'm tired of all the nightmares. I want to be able to see a plane without worrying about the casualties. Be the person I used to be.
I can probably more than anyone should, okay? But don't you dare touch me because I have to, because I don't remember what it's telling to be close to people and I can't talk to people and I have to forget about them. There's all these boys I can't see. There are really no war survivors.
The Paris Peace Treaty ended the war. It was signed in 1973 by both the U.S. and North and South Vietnam. It was a ceasefire, and we had to withdraw from Vietnam within 60 days. The Vietnamese had also promised to release all our POWs within 60 days left. When we lost the war, southern Vietnam fell under the rule of communism. It ended up the most unpopular war the